Welcome to Fat Mascara. I'm Jess.
I'm Jen. It's a podcast about beauty culture with a tagline TBD.
Yeah, we're working on it. Incoming 2025. So
We're workshopping it. We have a lot of agencies that are just pitching right now, and you just stay tuned for that. How's it going, Jess?
It's going okay. A little November madness.
What have you been doing to keep yourself sane?
So let this podcast be a respite from the the chaos and the frenzy of the world right now. So one thing that I have semi-committed to was moving my body more. You know that because every time we do the aloe yoga ads, which I love, I
love aloe yoga.
You know that like we actually really do believe in the ads. I meant to tell you, I have like a note in my phone to like keep on telling you this.
What?
You know, like the Honey Love, but I will get to the point in a second. The Honey Love, like one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
I jammed my little body into a Honey Love power short the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta tell Jen.
I mean, we practice what we preach.
Yeah, I was smooth. I have like this like satin skirt that
I believe our sponsor would like you to say you slid into a Honey Love super short, not jammed.
Well, it's more like my movement. It's not
Coat Fat Mascara.
Yeah, no. But I had an event to go to, and like satin skirts, man, they are unforgiving. They're very in, but they are unforgiving. But to my point, and I segue.
How did Carolyn Bessette Kennedy do it? Like honestly,
I think she
jobless.
She was built. She was jobless. She was built a little differently than me and my family, my heritage,
my people.
My people. So fast forward, I was like, I have my exercise bands. I know my aloe yoga routine. I was like, I'm going to do like my own little 15-minute version in front of some old Roni. Roni, for those who are not in the world, Real Housewives of New York. I'm just having a hard time clicking in with the new season, so I went back to the old season. Well, the beauty looks, I'm going back to 2008 here, okay?
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. 2008.
This is Jess's special time. She goes back to a simpler world and she pulls on stretchy bands for 15 minutes.
Somebody actually called 2008. It was like podcast I was listening to. They were called it like pre-internet. I was like, this wasn't pre-internet, but it was pre-social media. And Botox was around, filler was around, but it didn't have the grip on the culture in the same way. And it was definitely for like a ladies who lunch type. It was definitely like, if you know, you know. And the faces were so different and the looks were so different. The makeup was different, and I just took a different kind of moment in time. But it was really fascinating from a sociological like point of view. But then the same week, I read when I was doing my little scouting around for what we're going to talk about on Fat Mascara, Teresa Giudice, different show, Real Housewives of New Jersey, but that started just only a handful of years later. She had her lip filler removed, and she filmed it.
Okay. She did like hyaluronidase injections.
Hyaluronidase, yeah, or an enzyme.
Break down the HA that's there.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not like a surgical, like it's not super painful? Scary. There was a warning on the TikTok, so you can go check it out on her Instagram. It's a very simple search.
Because I know you all follow that lady that just mentioned.
Teresa, she's pretty popular. She has cookbooks. And
I'll just have you know that in my head, I've seen that woman's name, and she's been Guidice in my head.
Is it? No, maybe it is Guidice. You know, I don't know.
No idea. No, I trust your pronunciation
No,
over
I don't
mine.
trust anything I say about
like guanciale,
kind of
Guidice. I don't know. Anyway.
I stopped watching like shortly. I watched like 2 seasons of New Jersey Housewives, and I had to bail.
Go back to her New York girls.
Yeah.
So she took her filler out.
Yeah, and what she said was she wants to start fresh, which made me crack up. She wants to start fresh. It's not that she wants to do like a Pamela Anderson, I'm totally like natural, embracing my natural beauty thing. She just felt like it was too much and too wide. She wants to start fresh, but then she was thinking about having filler that went more out. Listen to like what she has to say. But she had like her person from her spa, her Medi spa.
So she wants more projection.
I think she wanted more
forward
projection
plane instead of a wider.
I guess wide is out in her mind, or for her personal aesthetic. I don't know. Like, Teresa, let us know, what your plans are. I say this without judgment. I love that she was really transparent about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that I was watching this live. But I do think some people are paring back. Another person who I know, she just texted me and she told me that she's laying off some of her fillers and stuff. She's just like, it's too much.
So this is so funny that you bring this up because I was just on Park Avenue. I was interviewing their sisters. One's a plastic surgeon, one's a dermatologist, LM Medical, Doctors Morgan and Leslie Rayback. I think I'm saying their last name right. And we were talking about how some of the clients or patients, I should say, that they have been doing less filler, on their upper and lower lips, and instead opting for a very small cosmetic surgery to shorten their philtrum, which is the skin between the nose and the top lip, that length. Because as you get more mature, that lengthens.
Yeah.
And so if people have a lot of filler and that's lengthening, it starts to look very heavy in a way.
Very Muppet-like.
Yeah. So sometimes she was saying, like, if you take the filler out and just do like a little bit of plastic surgery, that gives a different, more subtle look. Their patients are very quiet luxury, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's also just like once anything becomes popular by the masses, then whoever has to move the needle. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, completely.
I don't know. Guess what else I heard from them while I was there?
What else? Yeah. What else do they have to say?
We were just talking about trends in general, and like I'm writing this up for the cut for the end of the year, so I'll save some of it. But something that will not be included in the story. Have you ever heard of this? You know how soap is made from fats, right? Like lipidy fats.
True soap,
not
like a Dove
Syndex.
bar. Yeah.
Please see our episode all about soap, which was fascinating.
Yeah.
Syndex being like a Dove beauty bar, like Jess said. They're making soap from their own breast milk. Have you ever heard of this?
What? This is a Park Avenue thing? This is shocking.
I don't think it's their patients, but she had a patient who mentioned it to her.
Okay.
That they were thinking of using breast milk soap to wash their face.
I was thinking maybe for like a baby. Like, I could see this being as a niche sort of like rich hippie mama kind of thing.
Yeah, in the same way that like dry the placenta and use it for XYZ.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that makes more sense, but I think this is for the woman herself, not for the child.
Wow.
People never cease to come up with kooky things to do to themselves. Like,
I also don't know what the science is behind it. That would.
I mean, how is it going to be any different than like a olive oil fat soap? Oh God, I don't even want to think about it. I don't know why that one was like weird for me.
It's very weird, and I want to know how they're going to kind of like bend this into a luxury product.
I hope I did not just speak that into being. I feel like I just summoned Beetlejuice by saying that. Now someone's going to go monetize it. Right
Somebody
now, it's like this is Etsy, like corners of Etsy. You know what I mean? Right now,
I also feel like now I'm really pushing it, but it's like in a world where people can't get baby formula, breast milk, now we're making it into like there's something totally twisted in Marie Antoinette about that. So if it does happen, just like watch, like the pitchforks are going to be like at the ready.
Yeah, I can think
it's so dark.
Fantasy science fiction writers that would have a field day with this particular. Yeah.
If that comes to being, I mean, I'm scared.
Please listen to Fat Mascara. We will take you through the end days. We will be the voice of reason. We'll be on like transistor radios going out to everybody. Don't use that batch of breast milk soap from state number 72.
I know. I just feel like it's not going to go down well if that actually is a thing. But I've been wrong before.
Let me bring us back positive. Guess what's in this episode, guys? We're going to do the news. We're going to do a little short and dose. But I put together this special segment. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I was working with our sound engineer, and thank you, Enrique, for all your work. But like, it's something different for us. So I was recording while I was in Paris snippets of information that I got there.
Fabulous.
I know the best things I learned I put into a little segment. I'm feeling very NPR about it all. Like I'm.
You don't have to be NPR. You were in Paris.
I know, but I'm like on the ground reporting.
Okay.
And this is obviously a chat podcast. We don't do a lot of pre-recorded narrative style audio, but I was just experimenting and I learned a lot and I thought you might enjoy it. So that's going to come right after the news before we get into Raise a Wand. So let's do it.
All right, everyone, let's hit it with the news. Jen, did you watch the Martha Stewart documentary?
Oh, yes.
So good,
Sorry,
right?
that was little. I was fascinated. Yes, I really liked it.
Loved it. Really just like, I don't want to say it was uplifting, but it was entertaining, right? Super entertaining. Well, when I watched it, I couldn't help thinking about somebody from our industry, Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown, there are a lot of parallels, okay? Not apples to apples, but a lot of parallels. Bobbi Brown, total lifestyle guru, been in so many different arenas, right? Beauty, she's had Bobbi Brown, like with her original company, Jones Road.
Never arrested or sent to prison,
Okay.
as far as we know.
Thank you, because if Bobbi's listening, she might be like, wait a second.
She'd think it was funny.
She's like, I did not step in a hole. I have not been, sent to prison. She has a great marriage. Okay. Wellness. If you remember, she had this Evolution 18 company. She had a spinning studio. A lot of people don't realize that. Hospitality, the George, her hotel. She has a production and event space. And now she is in home. This is the big news, everyone.
Oh, so she's an omnimedia, an omnipresence like Martha. Okay,
yes,
go on.
She is omnimedia, okay? And everybody likes her, okay? Young people, old people, everyone, okay?
I want you to have a new segment on like Drew Barrymore's show where it's like Auntie Jess, and Auntie Jess comes in. And it's just like, yeah, because it's like quirky side news. Like old people love her, young people love her. Here you go.
They do. I'm sorry. Like teenagers love her.
No, she's quite a lifestyle guru. So what's she doing for home?
So she has a collaboration with Williams-Sonoma Home, which is like major. Like other people that do collaborations with her, massive. Not that, Bobbi's massive too. And the George. And the George is that hotel that I mentioned. It's based in, it's with her and her husband, Stephen Plofker, I think I've pronounced his name right, in Montclair, New Jersey. She's had this hotel for a while. Montclair, New Jersey is like kind of Bobbi country. Like she talks about it all the time, and she's lived there for so long. She's raised her family there. It's a very picturesque town in New Jersey. And she and her husband opened the George in 2018. And it's like a historic building. It's really chic, but it's like very, look it up.
See her interview. I think she talked about opening it on an interview we had with her in an earlier episode. I'll link to it on the recap.
Google it. It has like this very like old country manor vibes. It used to be a private home. If you look at the merchandise on the George, it's very like it doesn't have like Union Jacks, but it's like the blue, the red, regal looking
kind of colonial feeling.
Yeah.
Colonial United States.
It's a little bit more English, but yes, it could fit into a colonial home
would be,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
They did colonize the United States.
They are kind of related, right? But I just think like, what else does she have up her sleeve?
So is she selling at Williams-Sonoma a group of products that are sort of inspired by the George? Okay,
boxes.
Just to connect the dots here. Got your eye on anything, Jess?
I've got my eye on a couple of things. I'm not really a dog person. There's a lot of dog stuff, but I love the colorways. Love the color. I said that just to make you laugh.
It's never not going to make me laugh.
Lots of little gifty bits, and the timing is great. And I think she's very impressive. Okay, so congratulations, Bobbi. All right, so Jen, you've heard of doom scrolling.
I have.
Have you ever heard of doom shopping?
No, but I have an inkling of what this is, and I think I might be guilty. Go on.
I want to know what you've doom purchased then. According to a new study by Rakuten, so Rakuten, for those of you who don't know, it's a shopping rewards company. I have the plugin on my computer. I've definitely made a couple of dollars over the past few years. Consumers are stressed. They are bugging, okay? I don't know why, but they are. Actually, we're going to find out why in a minute.
Because everything costs so damn much.
Well, Jen, you're really good. You should be a journalist.
Please see last week's episode with Gary. Yes.
The survey interviewed over 2,000 American adults, and they predict that basically stress shopping is going to be very big next year. So here's why shoppers are doom spending. Jen, if we're ever on Family Feud, I want to be on your team, okay? Because number one, the cost of living was the highest reason. That's the highest reason why people are doom spending, 55%.
And doom spending being, I'm going online to shop to make myself feel better. Or late at night when I can't sleep, I'm going to go buy something online. Is that what doom shopping is?
I think so, yeah. It's like, they didn't quite say like,
number one reason.
Yeah, cost of living.
Yes, cost of living.
And it feels a little like counterintuitive. Like, okay, it's so expensive to live, so I'm going to go buy something. But I think it's just kind of interwoven. Like people are stressed, so they want something that makes, this is my own little like editorial. I think they want something that's going to make them feel better. So maybe it's like a little treat, a little something, you know, to
lipsticking sex.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing is kind of related, so I don't really know how they're teasing this out, but inflation. The next one is the presidential election. I have to assume this is
the reasons people are going online shopping,
yes,
Zoom shopping. Okay.
And of course, this is a U.S. survey. Then unaffordable housing. Again, that's got to be bundled into cost of living, but they've teased it out. And then wages not keeping up with cost. I think that's a big one. Ding, 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 ding. And then the last one, foreign affairs. So those are some pretty broad.
So it's so funny. This ties exactly back to that discussion about why people were so mad that the Patrick Ta eyeshadow that Garrett and I discussed last week. Why did this set people off? And I was like, I don't think it's this eyeshadow. I think it's the timing of the launch of this eyeshadow, because all of those 6 reasons or 5 reasons are at play. Well, thank you, Rakuten, for making us all like feel even more doomsy.
I think that they're just pointing out like people are edgy.
Yes. And because economists, like if you look on paper, an economist would say, okay, well, people don't have money, so they're going to cut back on shopping, and here's why, et cetera. However, you cannot discount psychology, and that has to, like, it's not going to operate the way you think it should, like math. It just doesn't work. People don't think like that.
Right. They're not going to go into austerity mode just because.
Even though, as we're talking about it, we're both like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If you're having trouble with cash, why are you spending more cash? But of course, we both know it does. I'm so guilty of this.
So what have you bought in like a doom spending?
So I did this last week late at night, and I was upset. I bought Eric all of these clothes, like over $1,000 worth of clothes.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, this is making me feel better. It was like shopping for my very own Ken doll. I don't know why that cheered me up. And I was like, okay, whatever he doesn't like, he can return. And it came, and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. It just made me feel better in the moment.
Did you look at it as like an investment in the future? Like, did it feel like a
No,
okay.
I said, look at the cute model on the J. Crew site and what he's wearing. I'm going to get that for my husband. Ooh, I already spent $200. Might as well spend $300. And I just kept adding stuff to the cart until this box came. And Eric was like, what is all this? And I was like, I didn't have the word doom shopping at the time. I ended up starting crying because I was like, I was upset about the world, so I just spent money on you. And then I also felt bad that I like bought all these clothes. Meanwhile, they're still sitting there unboxed. He has not tried on one of them. And I'm like, well, you better try on some of these so I can return the ones that you don't like.
What I buy, or this, I'm making it like it's a habit. What I am in the mood to buy right now are things that are like orderly for the home. I did that this summer when I was like stressing. Those steps that you put in the cabinet for spices. Or like the shower rack thing. Like that, you guys know about that if you listen to the pod.
If you listen to this podcast, I feel like we can tell that that's what you've been doing for the past couple of months. This has come up more than once, like how you want your home to be in order, organizing, control, Jess. Is it control? No, I'm serious. Psychologically, for me, that would give me a sense of control. I can't control politics. I can't control the environment. I can't control all these things, but my home. But my curry spice will peek out over my pepper, and I will know that that's the curry and not the turmeric because of this little shelf.
Yep.
You got it. You nailed it.
I need a space for all the little sock bundles. Just somebody.
Who was it? Was it Gina or Ione who was like, I do quite like a mason jar.
Oh, yeah,
gem jar.
Yeah. That was funny.
Because putting things in clear things feels like control.
Yeah. Oh, God, this almost guided. Okay.
This makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this.
The Rakuten thing, they didn't really speak too much about beauty, but I think it will be interesting to see how this affects the beauty space. Like, are people going to be like nesting? Are people going to want like calming creams that we've been talking about, fragrances, and like how it affects your mind and body? Where are we going to be going in a beauty space? Is it impulse purchases? What's going on? So TBD, but I really liked that survey. Okay, and last but not least, I feel badly, guys, because I'm really not trying. I'm trying to bring us up from the mood of the world. So I hesitate to bring up climate change at this moment. It is so devastating, and I can't even.
By the way, we're not just talking about the presidential election, whether or not
the world.
Politics. literally near Jess, there's wildfires happening in New York. People don't there's just things going on in the New York area. So I don't want to offend anybody with their political choices.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the literal go outside and smell the air.
A state of uncertainty.
I would say. So, but I would be remiss if I didn't share this very interesting story with you with a slightly whimsical bent, okay? A local hair freezing contest in Eclipse Northern Hot Springs has been canceled this year. It literally is just called the hair freezing contest. I thought that it was going to be. It started in 2001 and it got popular in 2015. It went because of some viral photo. It actually originated at the Taquini Hot Springs. Basically, it had in the beginning, it just had a few dozen participants, and then it gained momentum because of that viral image. People jump into the hot springs. Then they take photos of their hair when they flip their hair up and they put them in all crazy shapes. Kind of reminded me of, I guess I'm reading a lot of Dr. Seuss lately, all kinds of crazy shapes.
Seussian.
Yeah, you have to Google it.
Or when you were little and you pretended to be George Washington in the pool. Yeah. There's no one who doesn't know that.
Yes.
What I'm talking about right now.
Yes.
I don't think.
It is so bizarre and funny looking, but it's canceled this year.
But why should we?
Because temperatures they didn't get cold enough. It has to go below.
Let's do it later in the winter.
I hope so. I feel this is a lot of fun for a lot of people. You have to be very, very ballsy to jump into this water. Well, the water is naturally warmed, but it has to be cold enough, the air, to give you that hairstyle.
I need them to reschedule for later in the winter when hopefully it's colder.
I want to know the people who do this. If we have a listener who's ever done this or knows somebody who knows somebody, can you please let us know what this experience is like? Because it sounds really silly and funny.
I want to sponsor Fat Mascara. Listen, we don't have a big marketing budget, but I can find some marketing dollars to put behind whoever wants to do another one of these contests and wherever they can do it, because Fat Mascara brings you hair freezing.
Hair freezing.
Yes.
I had to read it 7 times. It was what?
Well, for a while there, I was like, what's hair freezing? But then I got an image in my head and I totally get what it is.
Look at the images.
I fully support it.
And it's so
And
goofy
I
and
love
silly.
a nature moment. So you're combining two of my loves, the beauty and nature with community. What's not to love?
And snow. It's very pretty.
Yes.
So
I love this.
Anyway.
Oh, that was good. That was a good, quirky neighborhood news to sort of.
Oh, I was digging. I was digging hard.
That's good. Well, we're wrapping up the news here, but Jess, my segment about Coty is coming. So if anybody knows the name Coty, by the way, they've probably heard of it because of makeup. The company owns CoverGirl, Kylie Cosmetics, Philosophy, Sally Hansen. But Coty, I don't think people realize, is the legacy of a real person. So that's the perfumer and entrepreneur Françoise Coty. This year is the 120th anniversary. That's why I was in Paris to celebrate. The company brought us all there. So I hit it off with one of the content creators. This is the interview we have coming up on Friday, right. Jess. Amelia O'Toole.
Yes.
She is Professor Perfume on TikTok. So we're having a fun chat. But I also learned a lot about fragrance families. And since we're always talking about Chypre and amber, and what does that mean?
Oh, I pronounced sheep wrong. One of us.
Oh, you're going to get you will learn everything you ever wanted to know about sheep in this segment. So, you know what? Let's just get into it. Okay, picture yourself in a multi-sensory museum. That's basically the premise of the exhibit I visited in Paris, which was officially called Coty, a fragrance disruptor since 1904. We started by smelling Françoise Coty's first perfume, La Rose Jacqueminot. Legend has it that he purposefully broke a bottle of the fragrance on the floor of a department store in Paris, and that inspired the customers to start buying it. I'll be honest, I have heard that legend tied to multiple different beauty entrepreneurs throughout the years, so take that rose with a grain of salt. Besides, there's another reason La Rose Jacqueminot was special, and I'll let Charlotte Galt, who works in the Education and Heritage Department at Coty, explain.
Essentially, Coty wanted to create a rose that never fades, which I think is quite poetic. At the time, other companies and perfumers were still quite hesitant to use these synthetic molecules, but Coty embraced them, and he used them in a way that was incredibly innovative. He offered new opportunities for perfumers, which we could say is quite like bringing new colors to a painter's palette. So here we have La Rose Jacqueminot. this beautiful fragrance bottle made of crystal. It was crafted by the famous French glassmakers Baccarat, and this is the original bottle that we have. So really exciting to show you that today.
So that was Coty's fragrance from 1904, and I got to see the original Baccarat bottle. As you heard, he didn't invent floral perfumes, but he pushed them forward with his use of synthetics. He is, however, credited with pioneering the amber fragrance family, with his 1905 fragrance Ambre Antique. Amber is now used as an umbrella term for the fragrance family that was once called by the Eurocentric and frankly very derogatory name Oriental. But even before that much-needed name change, there were perfume historians and experts who used the name amber to describe a subfamily of similar scents. Honestly, the name has always confused me. I thought it was because the perfume smelled like literal amber, the fossilized tree resin, but apparently that doesn't really have a smell. After talking with the Coty historians, I learned that amber is believed to come from the word ambergris, a natural substance whales excrete that has a warm, sensual, kind of salty smell. And that, along with resinous notes and things like vanilla, tonka bean, coumarin, labdanum, patchouli, these are all the scents we now think of as ambers. The vibe is languid and sexy, and it makes me think of someone swanning around in gold lame. It's giving like late night cabaret, some cocktails, pipe smoke in the air, that kind of thing. Moving on from the ambers and the synthetic accented florals like Rose Jacqueminot, let's talk about Chypre fragrances. I know that's what you all came here for. So in 1917, Coty launched a fragrance literally called Chypre. Here's Regine Pasquet, the Senior Director of Internal Engagement and Heritage at Coty, who immersed us in the Chypre story.
So now from 1905, we are going to go to the Chypre in 1917. Just here behind you. We cannot talk about the Chypre without talking about an evergreen forest. And here we are, and you are in front of this green evergreen forest, these big trees, where you have shafts of sun of light which pierce through the canopy, such as a breathtaking chiaroscuro effect, a little bit like Turner painting. These remarkable fragrances launched really the family of the Chypre family in 1917. In fact, in 1917, Coty got a brilliant idea to take a middle-aged fragrance based on oak moss and called already Chypre, which was dedicated to me, and to brought inside this fragrance an incredible feminine twist. This fragrance is a tango, and you are just listening. In fact, a fragrance you can listening and to smell to it.
Sorry to break you out of that reverie, but it was really the most fab French thing ever. As Regine said, Chypre scents have the look of dappled sunlight in a forest and the sound of the tango. I know those two things seem at odds, but that's the Chypre vibe. It's the soft woodiness of patchouli and oak moss, which, by the way, is a lichen that grows on oak trees. And that gives you that dark, mysterious, woodsy, foresty element. But then there's citrusy bergamot and a floral, typically rose, that gives you this fresh, bright, spicy tango thing. And those are the notes that, to this day, constitute a Chypre fragrance. Now, the last thing I have to share with you is the answer to the biggest question I had going into this whole immersive experience. Why are the Chypre fragrances called Chypre? I get that the success of Coty's 1917 Chypre perfume was basically category defining, but I wanted to know where he got the name. Turns out Chypre is the French word for Cyprus, as in the island in the Eastern Mediterranean, just south of Turkey. Since at least the 1500s, Cyprus was a perfumery trade hub for the exchange of fragrance ingredients between Europe and the Middle East and Asia. In fact, in the Middle Ages, many different perfumed products were simply called Chypre, perhaps for that reason. And Cyprus also had a reputation for making fabulous leather gloves. But as you may know, the business of making leather is stinky. So the Cypriot glove makers often used oak moss, which grew easily in Cyprus, to scent their gloves to take away the smell of the tannery. So in 1917, when Coty created his scent, Chypre would have been evocative of that perfumed history and a nod to the oak moss from the island of Cyprus. Even today, you can't have a Chypre scent without oak moss. Don't you just love that? Honestly, every time I think I know something about perfume, if I dig a little deeper, there's a legend and some stories, and probably some history and science to go along with the artistry. And to me, that is just magic.
What a good chunky, I'll say good chunky segment, but we need to have like more of these like boots on the ground segments.
It's fun. It's a new way of storytelling for me. Like, I know audio storytelling is what we do on the podcast, but it feels like I was writing a magazine article trying to like relate that audially. I hope it worked out and everybody enjoyed it. But
no, that was really good.
If not, let's just raise wands and forget about it.
Don't downplay your accomplishments. No, we need to do more of that. I like it. I hope everyone else did too. I'm sure they did.
Yeah. Let's raise a wand. So the homework we've been giving everybody, what's the best beauty gift you've ever gotten? The most meaningful beauty gift? Mm-hmm. I say it's Thanksgiving next week. We're just going to keep this going one more week. 646-481-8182. I love listening to these. So let's listen in. This is Hanusha.
Hi, Jess, Jen, Julie, and/or Garrett. This is Hanusha in Georgia, and I'm calling about the most meaningful beauty gift that I received. This was actually an experience gift. In high school, I was super into the YouTube beauty guru community, which was kind of at its height at the time. And my senior year of high school, my mom took me to IMAX New York, the International Makeup Artist Trade Show, which for a while was kind of overrun by beauty gurus and their fans. She was not into makeup at all. She's a super tomboy, was in the army, and is just not interested in makeup, but I really was. So she drove us to New York from Pennsylvania, and we went to IMAX. I got to meet some of my favorite beauty gurus, and we got a bunch of free products. We waited in these really long lines. I got some free brushes from Sigma that I still use, and waited in line to get a Lime Crime lipstick from my best friend. So that was just a really fun and special experience. And it was really nice, honestly, that my mom brought me, because she was not interested in makeup or in driving to New York, but she did that for me. So yeah, that was a great gift and a fun experience. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Hanusha, I love that. That is such a wonderful memory.
And it's an experience. And it was a time. I actually know I can just I'm there with her. Lime Crime, all of it. Yeah, I know it well.
It definitely puts sharing. You in a time. Jen,
yeah.
What's my
raise wand?
Yeah, your raise wand.
So I got introduced to a new brand this week that I like one product already, but I also just want to raise a wand to the founder because she delights me to no end. I got to meet Celeste Barber. You know who she is?
Yes.
So she's an actress, but she rose to fame with her parody account on Instagram, and basically like all those ridiculous internet trends and or videos you see from influencers. She's the or she calls herself the funny lady from Australia who parodies them and just does a really good version of saying like the fashion and beauty industry is ridiculous sometimes. And so just at the breakfast, she hosted a breakfast. She walked in the room, and like when you have that parasocial thing with someone, I walked right up to her and like gave her a hug like she was my friend. And then I was appalled at myself. I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I'm so sorry. She's like, it happens to me all the time. It's totally fine. She's exactly as cool and fun as you would want her to be. You would have loved her. She has her own beauty line now, Bobbi Beauty. It's only 5 products. And the whole premise, she was like, is I spend all this time skewering the fashion beauty industry, and I think that she started doing that because she didn't feel seen in it. Yeah. And I was like, I get that. Like it wasn't for her. And she was like, she also said she felt like most of the products, she's like, they're all for my 11-year-old niece with 87 steps, and I don't want to do it. And so there was this one product that really made me think of you that I have on my cheeks right now. It's called Bam Bam Bam.
I love that.
Can you guess why?
Because you just put it on bam, 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 and then you go.
How many times have I heard you say just a little bam, bam?
I did some bam, bam, bam before this show. That's all we got time for. Bam, bam, bam.
When she said bam, 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 I was like, does she listen to Fat Mascara? Has she heard Jess say that? The product is literally
bam, bam, bam is universal. It knows no boundaries.
Bam, bam, bam is for everyone.
That's a brilliant name,
right? Lip, eye, and cheek. So it's a multi-purpose product. Maybe not revolutionary idea. Colors are great. Formula is great. But I just love the concept.
Yeah. You get it.
You just get it. You just get it. Good job, Celeste. I love you. I'm a fan forever.
So
Buoy,
great.
buoy, raise a wand.
I love it. You just need that bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, bam.
So smart. So smart. Okay. All right. Mine is, you know, sometimes we're on the same page for a thing. This one we're not. This one we're not this week.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not bad. It's just funny because it's not a color cosmetic. It's a fragrance. Now, I have been wearing this fragrance for the past week, and I just had a little tester because you're gonna laugh because you gave me a bunch of testers like in the summer, and you gave me a whole box of product that had been shipped to your house that like they gave you a set and me a set, and then you said you gave her a set. And I've been like still working through it. And I had a little tester and it's like a vanilla scent. Everybody loves it. This is like one of those.
Wait, what brand is it?
This is why it's like funny in a second. Okay. I know it's like a long lead up, but there's a payoff. Okay. So everybody's giving hugs or I'm leaning in, blah, blah, blah. They all want to know, oh my God, it's so great. It's like vanilla, but it's like not. All types of people, moms, dads, hairstylists, fashion people, non-fashion people. And when I tell them the name, they die. It's called Harvest Mouse by Zoologist.
Now I'm remembering. Yes.
You gave me all the
Harvest
zoologists.
Mouse.
Yeah. Harvest Mouse.
Do you love telling people the name?
I said the name. I said, I'll tell you what it is. You got to get on board with the name.
Of course you do. This makes it even cooler.
But they're not used to like, who's used to wearing a fragrance with the name Mouse?
Right. The fragrance house is called.
Then I explained Zoologist. Yeah. Why don't you tell me about Zoologist?
Well, and all of the fragrances that they make are animal inspired. I think the Dodo fragrance is the one that like sort of set off the people in the know in the perfume world know about this brand. But they seem so, yeah, because I raised one maybe to a penguin one that was like icy.
I think you had the penguin. You did the penguin.
Yeah. So Harvest Mouse is the Jess I
also really like Rabbit. I'm still working through them.
Of course, the cozy Peter Rabbit-y animals appeal to you. This is so you, like English garden in fall, scurrying around, getting ready for winter, trying to get all warm and cozy. Those are the animals that appeal to you. I'm out in the Arctic discovering the birds, bird watching or whatever. There's something for everyone in Zoologist.
They have so many different fragrances. You're going to have, I've got to tell you some of these notes. Okay, cloves, Roman chamomile, Hey Absolute.
This is Harvest Mouse.
Opanox. Yeah, Rose Absolute. Beer extract, CO2, oak moss, vanilla. It is so beautiful. Now they have samples for $8 on their site. And then the big boy is $175.
Harvest Mouse. Is there a cute illustration of a Harvest Mouse? Because they all have like their own little like, icon. She's adorable. I love her.
It's so good.
I definitely have that sample somewhere, and I probably just didn't try it yet because I got samples of them all too. Should I Harvest Mouse today?
Try Harvest Mouse. It's a cozy, it kind of reminds me of like a great drink, like a great autumnal drink.
Ooh.
The Rabbit has me going as well, and I still have some other ones I haven't tried.
How is Lake vibing with these? I feel like Lake would vibe.
I usually don't have her try them on person. We usually try them.
No, like when she smells you and also just the
she
picture.
likes it. Yeah.
I don't know. Feels like the whole family can enjoy.
I do like Penguin though, because I tried Penguin the other day. That's really icy. That's very cool.
You can see why
it's really cool.
Into that. Bam 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 and Harvest Mouse.
Those are two real goodies.
You know what that shows us? Copywriting in the beauty world. Like sometimes a product's great, but then you put a good name on it and it's even better, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, it is.
Sell me the dream. Doom shop me. Doom sell me. I am here for it. Wow. Okay. Well, more perfume talk on Friday, actually. So we have a really good episode.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So in the meantime, between now and then, what should people do, Jess?
Really just like get in there, get under those coveys. Okay. Cuddle up tight. Maybe put the phone down. You don't need to doom shop your life away. And get that beauty sleep.
We hope you enjoyed the show. It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Raise the Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.